So, after reviewing the data, watching or looking at both the charts and looking at the video, how do you feel about the data presented that shows the significant difference in pay between both men and women?
When I was first looking at the data, the charts that you showed me, it looked more like kind of like sexist, I guess, um, information, or it looked more like it was just going, men are getting paid more versus women. But then when I watched the video, it kind of helped me understand better why there's that difference. Um, I was able to see that over time, a woman and a man may be employed the same amount of time, but because women take time off from maybe raising kids or having kids, they'll get paid differently in the end. So I was able to understand it better.
Oh, okay. So, Emily, after looking at the graphs and looking at the video, what do you think? Well, how do you feel about the data presented that shows the significant difference in pay between both men and women?
It's frustrating, and that's honestly it is what it is. Like it's true. Society has set us up for failure. I think, but I also feel like as women we set ourselves up for failure sometimes too because we let society tell us these things. Um, I think when we start to educate ourselves more and like start to change the way that we think and really gradually change what society thinks, it'll change that. But until then, it's really frustrating to know that I could have as much schooling as a man and still not be getting paid as much as him because of different life choices that like I can't make because obviously he's not gonna be able to have a kid. So it's like I can't change that, but like things that I can't affect, and that's what the world has given us. Like it's gonna affect how successful we are as individuals, and that's frustrating.
Um, why do you think there is a pay difference based on sex, or do you think it's not based on sex?
I think no matter what the video says, it's still based on sex. I mean, yeah, the change is smaller for those who don't make those life plans, but I know that like even for me, like I consider myself a really strong feminist, and I'm still gonna have kids eventually, and like that's gonna affect how much I get paid, and like nothing that anyone says is gonna change the fact that like a man can't have a child. So he's not gonna have to take the time off and have to start over at the beginning, pretty much. And so for me, essentially, I still think that it's a sex change, like it's a sex, like discrimination.
Okay. So, Logan, how do you feel about the data presented that shows the significant difference in pay between both men and women?
Kind of shows that it's pretty much equal, just how people go about it is just different.
Okay. And why do you think there is a pay difference? Do you think it's based on sex or is it not based on sex?
Yes and no. Like when they were demonstrating, when you looking into a job, and then what happens when you have a job. For women, if they have kids, they have to take time off from that and raising them, and then they have to get back into the workforce. Whereas a guy, they could take what is it, convalescent leave. That'd be like what, 2 months compared to like 2 years for a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and that could lead to significant differences between careers. Whereas like the guy could be like working for 2 years ahead of say his wife. They work in the same job.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep, that's it. Thank you.